Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper. And today I have a fun little insight. We're talking about managing money. Back in the 80s, I graduated from college and I got hired to sell group insurance benefits, group life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance, short-term, long-term disability to larger employers. So many of you out there have benefits at your employer. Before Obamacare, I would sell them to larger companies. Anyway, where am I going with this? We also had voluntary benefits. Here's the thing. Back in those days, we wanted to do everything so your benefits would be payroll deducted. The reason we wanted that was a few reasons. Number one, it was a lot easier to get the money that way because we didn't have to go chasing it, and it's expensive to chase money. That's number one. Number two is the consumer didn't have to make the buying decision every month. It was an automatic type thing. When you have to sit and write a check, you stop and you look down and you think, do I really need this or not? Many of you who have subscriptions that you've signed up for that you haven't noticed or read or canceled for a long time can understand that a little bit. And the other reason is we really kind of wanted to be out of sight, out of mind so that it would be really kind of automatic. And that was the reason for it. It was cost effective. You didn't make a buying decision and we automated the process. Fast forward to today. Not a lot of cash out there. Everything's automated and you can't see it. And when people swipe these cards or put your ATM or have your Apple Pay, that money just goes, and I'm finding more and more people don't have a conceptual understanding of money. People with ADHD have a self-regulation issue with a working memory challenge, and when you had paper money, you had to make the buying decision every time, and you had to deal with what was in your wallet. If you didn't have the money, you couldn't necessarily buy it. So that tangibility and the ability to see that money, you could see it and you wouldn't have to visualize it, and the buying decision would make it easier for you to self-regulate. Some of them still had problems, but not like today. In my practice, I can't tell you how many people that I'm coaching with ADHD that have an issue with money. And all of them are on payroll deduction, automatic pay through that process. And all I really want to illustrate is that the companies like that because it inhibits your buying decision. This insight could be really helpful for you. For number one is try not to succumb to those, or what I've actually coached people to do is they put their credit card on maybe a subscription and they have it there and they basically get a new credit card every year. The reason for that is they forget about it, and when they have a card and they cancel it, at some point in time, the subscriptions no longer work and they have to go back in and make that buying decision. There's a lot of people that I coach that we deal a lot in cash. You go to the ATM and you print it all out so that you're having to make that buying decision at point of performance where you actually can see the money. So here's really the insight here is that the companies have cracked the code. They like payroll deduction. They like automatic pay so that you don't have to make the buying decision and they can get more money. As somebody with ADHD, it's really helpful if you pause and set up structures to inhibit that. Again, go into cash, have it some way set up so that if you subscribe to something that it'll only run for a period of time before it will stop or something like that. Or as I do, sometimes I subscribe for things and I actually will go in and cancel them. Recently, HBO Max came out. I've got a free subscription for a year. So I signed up for it and they're going to bill me after that. And I actually went in and canceled it from a year from now so that when it comes around, it won't charge me. If you have ADHD and you struggle with money, this is a concept I think that you need to get in touch with. It's hard to undo because the world is trying to force you in that direction, but still, you got to advocate for yourself if you're going to manage money. So I hope this gave you a little behind the scenes insight as to why companies do it the way it is and why it's difficult for you, and you've got to design strategies around that. Certainly that's not a tip or a trick, but it's a mindset in order for you to kind of help manage yourself because everybody's different. Please subscribe to our channel. We give a tip out each week, such like this, or an insight to help you manage your ADHD and shift your mindset so you can more effectively manage your ADHD. With that, we hope you've gained some insight. Catch us next week for another great edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.